You look cute.
Thanks, babe.
There she is.
Sorry, I couldn't get the light organized because everything you see in my glasses.
Yeah, the ring light was like reflecting circles in her glass.
I just put Happy in the other room because he heard Jasper's voice and started barking like someone was in the house. Oh no.
Success.
Woohoo! I was thinking about this, Joe, and I was thinking that, many people don't know this because you and I are always quite private with our lives, but we have been raising this stinker for a decade. And you've been raising her for almost, for two decades plus. I came in about a decade ago.
God, I can't believe it's that long. It's crazy, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I know. I was really thinking about this as we were, set to do this. And I thought, wow, it's been almost 10 years. And, you and I have had so many chats throughout those 10 years. But, since we are more private, like we've never really shared it with anyone. And I'm so excited to be able to share, our story and have, Jasper, be involved with this and really kind of bring some inspiration and some encouragement, to a moment right now, in showing that the stepmom, biological mother relationship doesn't have to be the crazy one that everyone makes it out to be.
Exactly. I know.
So I'm really excited to sort of like shatter those social, those sort of social stereotypes and bring a lot of love into the world, which I think we need.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
So I'm really, seriously, I'm so grateful for the two of you because I kind of sprung this on you the other day. So much of the time I feel like these things are planned out, but this really, truly, admittedly wasn't. And we're just like coming together here and having a real kind of organic chat. And I'm really, really grateful for the courage and being vulnerable and exposing yourself and telling your story with everybody. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. So I'm excited, Jasper, because you are the designated commentator of this Mother's Day chat.
Yep. I got all my questions ready for you guys.
Okay.
And what's so funny is I truly don't know what the questions are. I honestly am like a little nervous and I'm really excited.
Yeah, I have not told you any of the questions.
No, I'm like
you actually. So,
and you know all the dirt.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. First question is for Madre. Okay. I feel like we should tell people, for people who don't know, why I called you Madre.
Yeah, tell them.
I didn't want to call Kate like a stepmom because it has like evil stepmother, Cinderella kind of connotations, and I decided that I didn't want to call her mom because I have my birth mom, so I decided to call her Madre, which is, the Spanish word for mom. And I remember the day I told you and you got all like red and pink because you were excited that I had a little nickname for you. And then since I was like 12, 13, I've always called you Madre. So a little backstory on that.
I love that so much. I know I was like so moved and touched by that because that was from your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's from Mexico, and she taught you Spanish, right?
Yeah, she did. She taught me Spanish growing up, and I'm very proud of the little Spanish heritage that I had. And I was like, all right, might as well like bring it into the family a little bit more. So, all right, first question I have actually for Madre directly is, how did you feel when my dad, Michael Polish, the one and only, had a teenage daughter? Like, what was the first thing that came, like, that you felt when you heard that? Like, were you scared or?
I was so excited. I was so excited because I'm an only child, as you know, and you're an only child. And, yeah. And I just was like, I'd always wanted a sister. And so in my mind, because I was 28 when I met you.
Yeah.
which
Wow.
37 now, so it really is almost a decade ago. I was just so excited to think that I was going to have some years with, you know, someone who was still, you know, close enough somewhat, I guess, or in my mind. I was still in high school, although I was far from it. But I was so excited to have, you know, someone close to me that was going to be family, that, you know, we could influence each other and like make memories in that way. And I was just so excited. I also remember being nervous that, like, well, it was a little bit of the unknown, you know, because again, I'd never had any even siblings. So the idea of like having, you know, someone in a way that was a very new relationship. I didn't want to do anything wrong. That's true. You know, that's where the nervousness came from. I wanted to be liked, if I'm honest, and I didn't want to like do anything wrong, and I just wanted to be. I really just wanted to be like there for you, and but the first feeling was like incredibly excited.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first day that I met you. Like I went into it like I was like, you know, I'm gonna make her work for it. Like we don't have.
You told me that later, though.
I was like, I'm not gonna like her. Immediately, I was like, I really like this girl. Crap. Like immediately we hit it off, and I was like, oh. And we went to the 99-cent store, and you bought me a bunch of candy, and that was
yeah, that always works.
Smart move.
You know what? You're stuck with me. I hate to tell you.
All right. So next question for both of you guys. Were either of you nervous to like meet and start, you know, parenting a kid and just be in each other's lives?
You're up, Joe.
I think maybe I was a little nervous. When I'm thinking about it, I was trying to be all casual and stuff, but I think I was nervous because you just want to get on. You just want to get on, and it's like I'm going to be sharing my baby with somebody. So I wanted to, you know, so that's a big thing.
But first, before I answer this, I want to point out that in all the conversations, Joe, you and I have ever had, we've never actually had these conversations.
No.
So I'm like really enjoying this, to be able to have this dialogue with you, you know, because it's like, you know, it's really, I think, important. It's like, it gets to like the honest root of relationships between family, you know, and I love that we're able to have that. I felt the same. I remember having a very similar feeling of when I met Jasper. Was I just want to do right by the family, you know, like the pressure was really bad. I wasn't nervous for any other reason other than I want to like be the best influence I can be. I want to have a relationship with Joe that is like so solid that we jointly have an influence on someone that makes her feel loved. Like I remember that was the thing that kept going around in my head, was Jasper just needs to feel loved. And if she feels loved by everyone, it's all going to be fine. And I think that you felt exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And that really, when I think back on it, like I really think that was the core of everything working as a family, was just love.
Yeah. For me, it was really important that we all get on, so that Jasper doesn't feel left out, that we can, if you have a question or I have a question, that we're able to call each other, and we're not like, oh, I can't call her because we don't, you know. And to me, and there have been situations where things have come up, and it's like, I need to ask you about this. Is it okay if I give her that? I just gave her a whole bunch of clothes. Is that okay? Because I don't want to, you know, you know, and you're always very respectful, always asking, is this okay? Is that okay? Always open. The dialogue's always been open. We've never had this conversation, but we've always been, I think, respectful of each other's roles and working together. And to me, that's the most important thing.
You guys did a good job of communicating, which I think is honestly like the biggest issue when it comes to, you know, divorced parents when someone gets remarried is there's like such a battle of like who has control over like the kid. But in this instant, none of you wanted to control me. You all wanted to work together, which I'm very grateful.
And I always remember thinking like, and like from a, you know, from like a new variable point of view, like I think part of where the, you know, stereotype comes in for the stepmom is that like that person is usually like so needy with the person that she's met that, or he's met that, like they want it to become about themselves. Whereas like, I remember going into this dynamic and being so excited about you, Jasper, that I remember saying like, if Jasper's not number one, like, then we're not doing right by her, you know? Like, if it becomes about anything other than you and your well-being, then we're failing, you know? And I think that like that very simple litmus test, like was something that I know you stood by, Joe, like, you know, and you had 90% of the physical being of with Jasper. But I think that we all were like, as long as we're making the decision for a healthy human being, you know, that's a good place to be, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Next question, which you guys, this is a question that gets, people ask me this all the time and the answer is always no, but does it bother you guys when someone assumes that you should hate each other? Because it bothers me, because everybody always says like, oh, don't they hate each other? And I'm like, no one hates anybody.
Relationships are really hard. Marriages are really tough. And there comes a time when if it's not working, you go your separate ways. And I don't know, you could have been older, you could have been younger, you could have been, but it is a sort of classic where sort of the new wife is much, much, much younger. You're not that much, much younger, but because of being famous and so beautiful and everything, that was always like, oh, how's that for you?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow. Oh, because she's beautiful and really young, I'm supposed to feel really crappy. I know. But it's amazing. It's amazing some of the stuff that people come out with. And I'm like, no.
It's really interesting how people can project like their own insecurities, like regardless of what it might be. Cause I get it in a different way, which is like, you know, but you must not have the relationship that Joe does. Like, does Jasper always choose Joe's side? Like, is there ever contention that way? And like, are you sure Joe really likes you? And like it's really interesting how like people's insecurities are projected.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
Yeah. I think it's just like their own processing from their own experiences, like what their reaction would be. I get so excited with my answer because because I know that they're thinking like, oh, you must not get along or whatever it might be. It might be, you know, whatever negativity it might be. And I always get so excited to say like, I love Joe. Like I genuinely, despite the dynamic, like have so much fun with you and think you're so hilarious and kind and warm and all the things I love in a human being. So when people ask me that, I get so excited to answer that because regardless of the dynamic, I'm like, no, I love Jo. She's the best human being, you know? I feel so grateful that I get to, you know, have this dynamic with you. It's so special to me.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's something that people will come and like they'll kind of like whisper it like it's some dirty secret. They're like, so like how does your mom feel about Kate? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, does she hate her? And I'm like, they'll like whisper it like it's something, and I'm just like, Kate's not some evil like wicked stepmother that like stole my dad away from her. Like they've been divorced since I was really little, and like, you know, people just don't understand the dynamic. So I just feel like that's a stereotype right there that like needs to be broken, because it doesn't need to be like a war on both sides. Like people can come together and raise a kid, which you guys did. All right.
Yeah.
Next question. Here's a fun one. What was it like having a teenager on social media?
Oh my God. That was one of the conversations I remember, Joe.
Yeah, social media. So we used to have talks all the time about be really mindful. You know, you have to be just be really careful what you put out there. It's going to be there forever. And that's really hard to tell a kid that because they just don't understand that.
I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and I very early on when I saw girls like posing in swimwear, feeling like looking sexy, like I wanted to look and feel like that because I thought it was really, I don't know, people like expressing themselves like that I think is really beautiful. And I still love, you know, feeling sexy and like posing like that. But when you're like 15, 16 years old, you don't really understand that it's to me it was self-expression, and I was like, why won't you just like let me express myself? It's just a body, like nobody cares, like blah, blah, blah.
All my friends are doing it, it's fine.
It's fine. But in reality, there are creepy older guys probably looking on your Instagram if your page is open and seeing, you know, these little girls like posing like very sexy, and it's not appropriate. But at the time I thought I was just being like suppressed.
I think that's something a lot of families struggle with.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I don't, because it is a little bit of a wild, it's a wild west still. I remember my mom telling me, like, when I was a teenager, Jasper, when she was telling me things I couldn't do, obviously it wasn't social media, but it was other things. And she would say that all my friends were allowed to do basically everything that I wasn't allowed to do. And my mom said to me one day, you know, it's really easy to say yes. It's the hardest thing to say no. And when
right.
And I learned it with you. I wanted you, Jasper, to like be happy all the time. Like I wanted you to feel like you know, you could express yourself. There's that side where you think, yeah, but I know that this is just something that she doesn't know yet. And my fear is that it'll be detrimental somehow. And I think that like that, the difficulty of saying no is something like a real universal parental thing for sure.
Yeah. 100%. All right, here we go. And the next question is like, you guys have talked about this a little bit, but how do you feel about mother versus stepmother kind of stereotypes?
Well, I always looked at your mom as like numero uno, you know? I mean, like the reason why I was always asking her was because I was like, is this right? Am I doing this right? What do you think about this? Like, so there was like no issue for me in that sense at all. Like there was no other thing in my head.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's all the stereotypes. It's like, you know, behave and grow up, for God's sake. Like, I can't. I mean, a lot of people it used to upset me with, you know, at school when I would see how some of the parents who are divorced, how they would fight through their kids.
Yes.
And then if a new person's brought in, you know, your mum or dad finds a new spouse, it can just add fuel to the fire or not. And to me, that is it's just so unfair. I just think it's so unfair. I think adults need to just, you know, fix their own, just take the high road. Just get on with it. It's like, you know, do what you do behind closed doors, but when the kids are there, get it together.
Totally.
And that's, yeah. To me, that's really important. I just think it's really unfair. And you meet so many kids who you can just see the damage of the fighting of the parents and how, you know, and they literally through the kids, they argue and then fight. And I've never liked that.
Oh,
I'm grateful that we never had to do that.
I'm so grateful for that. The healthier the relationship of the parents, the healthier the kid, hopefully.
Yeah.
Best, but I feel like the any kind of like rubble that's created between adults like doesn't need to go to the little ones ever.
Yeah, and I feel like that happens a lot. Like a lot of kids know way too much about what's going on.
I was going to say, Jasper, exactly. It's sharing too much with your kids, I think, is unfair.
Because like you're a kid and like you'll hear, like, let's say this didn't ever happen with me, but like you'll hear something that the dad did or something that the mom did, and the kid will only hear a part of that and will immediately start hating that person, their parents, because of this piece of information when they don't even have the whole story, which in my opinion is just like very wrong. And I was very, very shielded and protected. I never really knew anything that was going on, and I don't think anything ever was going on, but I was very, very protected. I think the stereotype that may have bothered me the most is like people automatically assume, you know, when someone gets remarried that they're like, oh, so, you know, your dad has like a whole new family now, and like he's gonna start having kids and like move on, and like you're not gonna be a part of that life anymore. And it's like, it's not. I think in really crappy circumstances, that happens, because it's happened to a lot of my friends where their dads like move on.
Yeah.
They start a new family, and that this is like their do-over.
Yeah.
But I don't know, from day one, you made it very clear, Kate, that like I was gonna be the main priority. So I really, really love that you did that, because I think it really could have like messed me up if my dad had decided to just start a new family and like completely leave me behind. But you always made it very clear that I was number one, like you said. So
always. Oh, honey, like I am like fulfilled because and I really mean that, you know, like I don't know what's going to happen in life, but I can tell you with like all of my heart, I am totally fulfilled because of you.
Oh, I love you. All right. Next question.
Okay.
If you could go back and tell yourself something at 22, what would you tell yourself?
Oh God. I was such a mess.
Yeah, 22. If I went back, I'd probably say, listen before you speak, to just relax. I think the message would be just to relax and enjoy, and stop being so like uptight and hateful to yourself, because I was hateful to myself.
I couldn't agree more. I think that I would tell my 22-year-old self, like this, along the same lines that what you're saying is to relax, is that I was so worried. Like I was really concerned all the time of like not being enough, not achieving enough, not doing enough, not having the right relationships, or not being liked, and whatever it was. I didn't really know. I didn't have the tools to be able to kind of center myself and work through anxiety or stress that I felt at the time. I felt paralyzed by stress a lot of the time, like really crippled by certain anxieties. And so I think I would have told myself, like, everything's going to be fine.
I think I struggled a little bit when I was younger. Like I suffered a little bit with, you know, some depression and anxiety, because I didn't know how to express how I was feeling, and you kind of lock it all inside. And that's why I think my generation suffers a lot with depression, anxieties, because, you know, a lot of people don't know how to talk. And I was told very early on that like it's okay to cry, and it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to have bad days. And I think, you know, being told that from everybody who was in my life from a very early age really, really helped me and taught me how to like talk. And I can sit and talk about my feelings for hours now. But
Jasper,
all right.
My lips are so dry that I'm like grabbing what's ever close to me.
Do it.
Oh my God. It's like the weather changing.
I know. It's crazy. It's so hot all of a sudden, you guys.
I'm so glad everyone else does it. You know, my lips are like falling off right now. And I was like, I'm really hoping Zoom is blurry enough that people don't see that. But
I can't see.
No, I know. I've got to get a little bit further back so you don't see too much.
I was literally doing that. I was like, sit back, please.
You look great.
That's great.
Okay, now we're good.
Next question. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 questions left.
Okay.
So, this one is like you both are in what we call the business of entertainment, beauty, fashion, film, etc., what was it like having to raise a kid who was so eager to dive into like the scary world of Hollywood and movie and film? And I was so eager and so angry that I like wasn't allowed to be auditioning and doing this. And so how did you guys feel, and how did you guys tame the beast?
For me at the beginning, well, because growing up with your dad making, you know, independent film movies, and if they needed a kid, you were there, it was easy, you know, and it just felt also natural. And then of course, when you grew up a little bit, you were like, this is what I want to do. And I was kind of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But we agreed that if you did well at school, that you could, you know, start going for auditions and see what happens and go with it. I was scared because it's such a tough business and nobody wants to see their child being rejected. And I mean, it's a tough business, but it's been made really clear to me over the years that it's your passion. It's what you love doing. And now seeing you doing it, it actually makes sense. And I think it's really, really, really important as a parent to support your passions. And I mean, I have friends who wanted to, you know, have certain jobs, and their parents were like, no, you have to get a real job and you have to do this and that. And they're miserable. It's like, I think it's really important to just follow your dreams, have the family supported, and you never know, you may along the way suddenly find something else, or maybe you will do it, maybe you won't do it. It doesn't matter, but it's really important. I feel it was really important for me to support what your dreams were so that you could really explore and figure out for yourself what you needed to do. And that's the only way, is to know what you really need to do, is by doing it.
It's funny. It was really interesting for me to listen to you say that, because I, you know, similarly to you, Jasper, I didn't know anything else than like what I wanted to do in my heart, which is very similar to what you want to do, and what you are doing. So I was sitting listening to you, Joe, and I was hearing my parents echo sort of like your fears. And it's so funny because as a kid, I was so mad at them, you know, for having any kind of doubt or fear because I didn't understand it, right? Like I really didn't understand it, because when you love something so much, it's like you just have tunnel vision on it. So you don't see you don't see the perspective that people who love you would have. And obviously, as I've gotten older and you know, had all the experience that I've had in this crazy industry, I 100% understand now, you know, how my parents would feel that way and how you would feel that way for a young person in the world. And I think, you know, when I knew, Jasper, that you wanted to be an actor, I was just like here for you, because I actually felt really grateful that I've pretty much had every experience you can imagine in this industry, you know? And so I just felt like grateful that I'd gone through like the really, really hard stuff. You know, I had newfound gratitude for the things that were painful, because I thought, oh, well, you know, it's more than likely that in life, when you're an artist, you'll get rejection, you'll feel certain things that don't feel good, but you know, I've been through it, so I felt a sense of gratitude to be able to be there for you if you wanted to come to me with anything, because I had such an intimate experience with all those feelings, you know.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, because you've always helped me with all my self-tapes and auditions and things like that. You've always been very, very you know, giving and understanding. Yeah, supportive.
Well, it's so clear to me that you are an artist through and through, and you know, you have two parents who are artists through and through. So it's no surprise there. You know, I mean, you're so talented. You're musically so gifted, and you know, you write, and you like, you know, you read so much, and you're just at the very, very tip of the iceberg. I really believe this for all the creative, beautiful things you'll make in the world.
To bounce off of what you said about, like, you know, growing up and kind of having that tunnel vision of, you know, this is what I want. Like, I know what I want to do. Like, why can't I just start right now? Like, this is the career. I don't need school. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And to be honest, if I said this to, like, got to see my younger self, and I said, there's no way I'd even believe it coming out of my own mouth. But like, I'm so grateful that kind of my mom made me put the brakes on acting as a kid.
Everyone's meant for the career that they have, you know. It's so important to keep that in mind, because like, what's yours is really meant to be yours, and like what goes to someone else is really meant for them. So in that way, if you can find the place to like root for that person and go like, that's cool. Like, okay, I wanted that role, but like, they'll do something cool with that. Like, you'll find a great place of like love within yourself, and that will just propel you to be even better and stronger and more empowered as an artist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
100%. All right, guys.
Is that the last one?
No, I have one more.
Okay, one more question. Okay. She's saving the best for last, I wonder.
Okay, so what is the most important thing for you guys when raising a young woman? I am that young woman.
Really?
Raising a young woman.
Yeah, what's like the most important thing, like values or things that you want to teach a young woman, or that you would say for other people raising a young woman?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, we just wish. Oh gosh.
I was like, I'm gonna let Joe go first on this one.
I know. Well, because I mean, the obvious things is. Okay, so say the question again. The most important thing. I know, right? I want to get this.
What is the most important thing for you when it comes to raising a young woman in today's day and age?
Well, obviously, we want you to be happy and confident, and to understand that, oh my gosh, it's such an easy question, but I can't think of how to sort of, I want you to know that you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, you know. Thank God this is happening, but the world is changing, and women are being heard more, and there are more opportunities coming. But I think it's really, I've always wanted to impress the message that you can do anything you want. You just put your mind to it. Oh God, it's none of this is coming out. I might have to take a moment on this. I mean, because I think it is easier. It's finally getting easier. But still, we still have a ways to go. But for raising a woman, I think today, I think it's really important to know that you don't have to rely on another person to be happy. Mm-hmm. And I think that
preach.
Even if it means being on your own, it's really important to oh my gosh, this is really hard. Yeah, question, Jasper.
I'm loving listening to you, though. I think
oh my gosh.
I am. Everything you're saying. I'm like, yes, that's so important.
Yeah, nothing should be out of your reach just because you're a woman. I've never wanted you to feel held back in any way, or you know, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, and whatever your dreams are, you should go for it. I think with girls, you have to remind girls to love themselves and to be kind to themselves and to appreciate and respect themselves. That's really, really, really important.
Yeah, but for me, like, that's what it is too, is just like self-love.
Messages of yeah.
You need to do self-love.
Yeah, self-love is so important. I mean, it's important for boys and for girls, but I think, and if you want to have kids, great. And if you don't want to have kids, great. It's like, it's whatever you're free to do whatever you want. And remember, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But always remember to look in the mirror and look at your reflection in the mirror and say, you know, I love you. I know it sounds goofy, but it's really important. Sure. And girls tend to not do that. We beat ourselves up, but we always try and change. And I think it's important that you love who you are. You look in the mirror and you love who you are. And that's hard to do. But I think it's a really important lesson. I mean, we talk about this quite a lot, really, Jasper, don't we? Of the importance of loving yourself and feeling comfortable and understanding, you know, no, you can do what you want and go for it.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because I was thinking the same things that you were articulating so beautifully. And I was also struggling with, does this sound too cliche? Right. But as I was listening to you, I was thinking, no, it doesn't, because that's the truth. And there is only one of you, Jasper Polish. Yeah. And you are the most special person. And I really think it's so important, as your mom said, the biggest relationship that you're going to have in your life, the one that you're going to love the most, the one that you're going to have the biggest conflict with, but the one that's going to empower you the most and make you the best, is the person who's going to stare right back at you in the reflection.
Yeah.
So if you can have a relationship with that person that's like loving and strong and healthy and kind and vulnerable and soft and all those things, you're going to have so much love in this life. And that's all I wish for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got it. Like, it's so much spades between the two ladies here.
Right. Yeah. And never be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Never be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's what we're here for.
Luckily, you guys have always told me, you know, to reach out. So I'm one of the people that I'm not scared to reach out and ask for help. You're always one of the first people I text when I get an audition that I don't understand or I need help with. And, you know, you both have been like, it's okay to ask for help. So in that department, I feel very supported, and I'm very lucky that, you know, I have two women who have supported me so much my mom my whole life, and you the last 10 years. So
can't believe it that long. It's so bonkers. So bonkers, right?
So
That's great.
Well, it's so important to me, Joe, to tell you how grateful I am to you for inviting. I'm gonna get emotional. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. But I'm so grateful, really, to you for inviting me on this journey with Jasper.
Wow, thank you. Oh my gosh. No, you've been amazing. And I've always, I mean, I've talked to Jasper about this a lot, that I feel, you know, who knows, it could have gone such a different way, but we just embraced and left the doors open of call me if you have any questions. I know I can call you if I have questions. You know you can call me if I have questions. And it's, if there's a problem, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's important that, you know, Jasper's number one.
I really know this was the hope for all of us for doing this was to really give some insight and some inspiration and hope in what makes family family, regardless of the dynamics. And to me, that is love.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that this conversation brings that kind of inspiration to people, especially now, who need it. And like, regardless of their own dynamics, it really, really does just come down to love, you know? And I love you guys. I'm so grateful you're family.
Yeah, me too.
I feel very lucky. I love you both so much.
I love you, baby girl.
Great moderator, Jasper.
I know. Good job. Good questions.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the like little give back quality of this thing?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, this is very important.
Yes. I really did call Jo up a few days ago and spring this whole idea on her. But it was so great because in the midst of that first conversation, like, we both agreed one of the most important components to this dialogue was giving back. Yeah. And we are able to do that in a few ways, which I'm excited about. We have partnered with another amazing mom named Kelsey Harper, who has a company called Matriarch, which I think is perfectly named for this dialogue. And she has put together this very cute little Mother's Day box that I'm going to show you guys.
Yeah.
And watching. Da-da-da.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's very cute dry flower.
So cute.
I'm going to open it so you can see it. It's this cute little like soaking rose bath salts and like this really cute little like
Palo Santo
wood that you can burn, that's all responsibly sourced. And a portion of the proceeds will go to a charity that I know, an organization I know is super important to me and you, Jo, which is Save the Children.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who buys this Mother's Day gift box, and I'll show, you know, anyone who's watching this, I'll show you how to purchase it. So don't worry about that. A portion of those proceeds will go to Save the Children. So that's very exciting. And another way, if you do not feel inclined to buy a gift, or you've already bought one, I will have a donate button on my Instagram. So anyone who wants to donate even like $1 or anything you can. I know it's really difficult in these times because, you know, everyone's feeling so compromised and afraid. But I do feel like that's like the moment when we have to come together and help if we can. So I think that would be really the biggest Mother's Day for all of us, is if anyone who's watching, if you feel compelled to donate and to help the amazing organization of Save the Children and to help parents and children globally during this time, would be absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
For me, really quickly, I just want to say why it's important to give back is like right now we're in a time of just like things are really, we don't really know what's happening or what's coming next or who's going to have jobs after this all happens. And, you know, it is really scary and we can't physically be there for each other right now. So the way that we could be there for each other is, you know, giving back a little bit, because we don't have any control, but you can control like what you give. And, you know, it's your way to be there for someone without physically being there. So that's all I have.
Well said, Jasper. Absolutely right. Well, yeah, I liked this charity that you presented, Kate, Save the Children. It's just the perfect timing for, I mean, there was just a little piece on what it's about, helping families and health workers get through this pandemic by delivering life-saving supplies, crucial healing information, and then general support. And that's the huge message that just keeps slamming me in the face is this is a time about thinking about others and being kind and being helpful and being loving. And there are a lot of kids out there who aren't even eating because their parents don't have any jobs and don't have any insurance, and it's just crazy times. So this is really, really important. So I'm so happy we're doing this, and we can send a little something in the direction.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think, this is the time we have to come together, and I'm so grateful to you both, for coming together with me for this. And again, for like leaning into the vulnerability, because it is a jump. I mean, it really is. Like, we're family, and we've, we know each other so well, but it is a leap to kind of have this conversation and to really dive into some, I think, meaningful topics that I hope can connect with families. And I'm so grateful we can give back to Save the Children too. So I'm just really filled with gratitude for you both. I love you.
Love you too. No, this is great.
Happy Mother's Day, you guys.
No, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Well, stay safe, you guys. Stay healthy.
Okay.
Love you both so much.
Love
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I've got to figure out how to get out of here now, Joe.
I know, it's like, oh, leave meeting, bottom right-hand corner. It's here. You see it? Bye.
Bye. Hold on. Jasper, get in there. I want to take a photo of the three of us.